Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson of World Alternative Media here, and the new socialist mayor of New York City, Zohran Mamdani, is proposing something that we have been warning about here for a very long time indeed, something that will really give us a peek at what the future looks like, and it's not good. Zohran Mamdani wants to build government supermarkets. America already has them, says CNN Business. This is something that I've been warning about for a long time. Years ago, I reported on the fact that Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson wanted to open city-owned grocery stores. This is the step, my friends, into the Great Reset. This is something that the World Economic Forum has been pushing for years. And this is how you end up in a situation where you have to tap ID or your social credit or your digital ID in order to enter stores. We already have things like this in New York City where you have to tap to enter. You got to pay just to enter the store and show QR codes just to enter the store. This is not good, my friends. And we're working our way very quickly towards that technocracy I've been warning about. Look, this will end in people having food rations attached to social credit scores attached to digital IDs. They already want to unleash food police in places like New York City. This is not going to simply go away. The World Economic Forum already has a cooperation with countless major grocery chains. So we're going to go into this and more today as we see a manufactured food shortage, by the way. But before we do, I urge people to check those links below. And in order to ensure that you don't end up stuck in that CBDC system with the digital ID, with all your money stuck in the bank, unable to get it out, as we see banks go bankrupt with less than 1% cash deposit ratio, derivative exposures through the roof, and bail-in regimes on their rule sheet, I urge people to go and check out firstnationalbullion.com/schedule-consult/. It has to be that exact link, not a shortened version of it. It has to be the whole one, and it is in the description of the video. There you can buy physical gold, silver, platinum, or palladium. Hold it in your hands, put it in a vault, or put it in an IRA outside of the traditional IRA system. Schedule an appointment for a free consultation with Mark Gonzalez over at that link. By the way, Mark is a good friend of ours, and we do many videos with him that you could check out on our channel, including our recent one on the 50-year mortgage insanity and a massive bank liquidation. Go and check out our recent videos with him. Nonetheless, you could also get a complimentary investors package when you sign up, and just let him know in the form, in the comments of the form, when you sign up, that you found him at World Alternative Media, or WAM, WAM. Also, obviously, stock up on food. One of the most obvious currencies out there is food. So you aren't stuck eating food out of poisonous Bill Gates ration lines down the road. Go to heavensharvest.com for long-term storable foods that are non-GMO. There's organic kits, heirloom seeds, water filtration and storage, books on how to get started. There's freeze-dried foods, of course. Use code WAM, W-A-M, and you'll get 5% off as well as free shipping on your order. This is a no-brainer, my friends. Get on this today. I'm not going to promote this much longer. I don't make any money off of it. I just want people to have solutions. But I'm not going to promote it much longer because we are, unfortunately, running out of time on this as they force this insane new system on us. So go and check those links in the description. Again, Zohran Mamdani wants to build government supermarkets. America already has them, says CNN, one of the biggest trash websites in the world, but nonetheless, one that's talking about this story. Zohran Mamdani, the favorite to become New York City's next mayor after winning the Democratic primary, who, by the way, just won. This is an article, by the way, from June 30th, 2025. But now that he's won, it's very important because a lot of people are talking about it. It says he has this contentious plan to create a network of city-owned grocery stores in New York City, but it's less radical than critics portray. Some food policy and grocery industry experts say. Of course, are those the same ones that work directly with the World Economic Forum? Let's see, like Tesco, like Carrefour, I don't know, like Kroger, like so many others that work directly with the World Economic Forum, which proposed this years ago. Are those experts in food policy, in industry experts that they're talking about? Mamdani has proposed 5 municipally owned stores, one in each New York City borough, to offer groceries at lower prices to customers with limited access to supermarkets. In some New York City neighborhoods, more than 30% of people are food insecure. Yeah, that's by design. And of course, we're seeing that perpetuated by both the left and the right, Democrats and Republicans, within that Pepsi versus Coke paradigm that we call politics. Yes, absolutely. They are pushing this and they are destroying the food market so that they're like they went after farmers, just like they've gone after truck drivers, just as they brought in all these regulations, just as they brought in these tariffs, just at the perfect timing as they bring in digital IDs and CBDCs across the board, which are being mandated in places like the UK, where people call me crazy just 2, 3, 4 years ago when I said that they were going to enforce this very soon. They said that'll never happen. Now it is happening. And of course, they are doing the same thing in the United States and Canada. They have the Genius Act. They have the Real ID. They have all these, new programs to bring in that digital technocracy that I've been warning about for so long. But nonetheless, okay, they are going to say, oh, because people don't have food. Well, they cut off the supply. And as the United Nations Pact for the Future, which 193 countries signed onto back in September 2024, says, if you say negative things about the government, they could shut down your bank account and force you into food rations based in social credit scores and digital IDs. This is something that they are already working quickly towards. And out of desperation, people are dependent on grocery stores. Order out of chaos here. Tyranny comes under the guise of convenience. Here you go, something cheaper. Well, how's it cheaper? Well, we're taxing the hell out of people. We're stealing their money. We're paying for food at actually higher prices and then reducing the price because that's what the government does because they're totally inefficient. Then giving it to people. And by the way, don't look too much into what might be injected into that food and what might be the origins of that food and how much GMOs are involved and what kind of medications they're trying to give you through that, which there are government programs on right now. Let's not look into that at all. Let's just focus on, oh, yeah, the government's trying to help you. After starving you out, the government needs to create a crisis to gain control. They depend on the dependence of the masses, and people are dependent on grocery stores. So therefore, it's very easy to do this. And they already have systems in place in places like New York City that are very much in line with this. Like people are being are saying that this idea is a Soviet-style disaster in waiting and it's farcical. Well, absolutely economically delusional. Absolutely it is. But that's a point. That is a point. They know that. They know that. They're going to make excuses in the CNN article, but they know that. The reality is technocratic Marxism is on the rise. And it also is teaming up with technocratic fascism. Both are on the rise. And not fascism like, oh, he's racist or he's a bigot. That's complete bullshit perpetrated by leftist social justice warriors. And just like on the other side, they'll say you're a Nazi if you dare to criticize Israel. Both sides are in on the same agenda. By the way, the right is with biometrics. The left is with climate policies and, poverty and food insecurity. They're pushing from both sides. And the idea is that you will own nothing and you'll be happy and you'll be going to these stores to get your little food rations in your 15-minute cities that are super convenient. Everything's nearby. I told you guys years ago, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson wants to open city-owned grocery stores. This is part of the agenda they've been pushing for so long. Taxpayer-funded city-owned grocery stores. So it's like when they say that you're paying nothing for healthcare, you're getting free healthcare. When really, first of all, they are enslaving you because in places like Canada, you could pay 62, 63% of your living towards the government in taxes and then add in inflation. It's insane. And then that money, you're paying way more throughout a lifetime by far, by leaps and bounds, than you would for one specific medical incident. But because it's spread out over decades, people think, oh, it's nothing. Oh, it's just a payment program. No, you are paying more and you're becoming more poor because of it so that they can pay big pharma corporations and the drug manufacturers to lower drug prices so they can perpetually raise the rate and make taxpayers pay more while not hiring actual doctors and nurses. I mean, this is a trademark what they do. And they do similar things in the UK. But in Canada, it's one of the worst. I mean, you have to wait 12 hours in a waiting room to get in I've seen people with heart attacks in waiting rooms waiting 12 fucking hours. And I apologize once again for the bad language. We're talking about something that affects everyone and is being utilized to literally suck the blood out of humanity. And I'm not having it. People think, oh, it's just a little thing, a few government-run grocery stores. No, this is a beginning of the shift into total technocracy. And Zohran Mamdani, who pretends to be the only guy who pushes back against Israel. Look at him here with his yarmulke, who's literally an actor. His mother's a famous filmmaker. He's been in big movies. He is an actor like Zelensky, like Ronald Reagan was, like Donald Trump, like all of the above. Any politician you meet, Obama, talk about acting lessons. The whole thumb and fisting. Let me be clear. That's all. It's all bullshit. I don't see how people can't see through it at this point. It's insane. Anyway, Mamdani is an actor, and they're pushing and perpetuating all this kind of stuff. New York City, as I reported 2.5 years ago, wants to unleash food police to limit residents' consumption in the name of climate justice. The idea is to tell you what's healthy and what's not healthy and stop you from eating certain things. And you know how they don't like meat and they don't like eggs and they don't like cheese. They want you to eat kale, which leaves long-term toxins in your body that last years. That's meant to be a garnish until big industries realize how cheaply they could buy it and how much expensive they could sell it for, make profit off of nonsense like that poison they call kale. And look, they already have these things in New York where you have to tap to get in. You have to show ID to get in some places. You have to pay money to get inside some places. TikTok has tons of videos on this. And, again, and I've been to the Whole Foods that they show here. And, the whole tap to pay thing, that's been going on for a while, but that was always a litmus test. Eventually to tap your hand or tap your fingerprint or tap your retina, show your retina, or eventually just facial recognition like they have in China just to enter different neighborhoods. And this is happening at the perfect timing as we see hungry Americans face long lines at a food bank in city of Cleveland. Federal food stamp payments are paused due to federal government shutdown. Now that's overturned now, but it's going to take weeks to actually pull back. And this is on top of the point that we are dealing with a 73-year shortage of cattle head. And 73 years ago was 1952. How many people were on Earth in 1952? Around 1 billion, so they say. They say today it's about 8 billion, though it could be as high as 11 billion. We aren't sure, which says a lot. This is one of the reasons they want to roll out all this stuff. They want to monitor everyone. But when we see that increase in population and it's a 73-year record low shortage of cattle head, what does that tell us what that actual record is? That means it's like 8 to 10 times or 11 times higher of a shortage, worse of a shortage than they say it is. And this is happening as they try to shut down farms worldwide. As we've seen what they've done in the Netherlands, where they try to get rid of 50% of farms and pay people to give up their land to help fight climate change. Absolutely fucking insane. They've tried the same thing in Ireland. They've tried the same thing in the UK. They've tried the same thing in all over the world. John Kerry put in that policy as well in the United States, and I haven't actually seen it overturned. And now with these Mexicans being rounded up on farms across the United States and sent to, in some cases, El Salvador, some cases Africa, but mostly, hopefully, back just to Mexico and not going through that trauma. But my point is, they're rounding these people up on these farms, and that is part of the agenda as well. People will go, well, I don't want all these illegal immigrants. Well, the U.S. imported them in the first place so that there would be a problem, so that there would be a cultural conflict, so that they can come in as a solution, so that they can round them up and send them out. And by the way, very unconstitutional, and also allows them to bring in biometrics, which is a part of the same agenda. Why can't people see this? Everything we see is problem, reaction, solution, repeat. The Hegelian dialectic, both on the left side and the right side, no matter what side you're looking at, they are all part of the cog, part of the puzzle that is being built in order to enslave us. And people still go, well, maybe this guy will save America. Maybe that guy will save America. No one person is going to save America. Anyone that thinks they can has a serious ego problem. The reality is it comes down to you as an individual withdrawing from the system. Because look at this. I mean, we have so many examples of things like World Economic Forum, how grocery shopping data is unlocking financial inclusion. Financial inclusion. Whenever they use that word, be wary. Inclusion. Grocery data offers a unique insight into individuals' financial status and behaviors. This data can be used to determine the credit score of people with no credit history, of course, leading into the social credit system. Using AI and privacy enhancing technology, that's a good one. Banks and grocers can help improve financial inclusion. That's a double thing. Privacy enhancing. It's literally a robot, a machine seeing everything that you do and determining what your credit score is. And that will lead into the social credit system. Again, the World Economic Forum is engaging with major global grocery stores. And I hate to say this, it's using AI, but I Googled it and I see the outline and I see the sources. So I had to go with it. Like Tesco, Carrefour, and Kroger, and working with countless other institutions. And I would say Sobeys has to be in there somewhere. Tesco is, again, a major player in the UK. If you've ever been to the UK, I know a lot of you watching are in the UK or from there, but I spent an enormous amount of time in the UK, and Tesco is absolutely everywhere. That and Sainsbury and stuff like that. And it's extremely convenient. That's a point. And they really do push the cashless stuff at Tesco. Carrefour, I mean, not that they don't accept cash, but they really push the cashless stuff. They want to encourage it, and they want to basically punish you for using cash. Carrefour is another one. If you ever been to France, you've seen a lot of these stores, a lot of the subsidiaries as well. Again, we are witnessing an act. We're witnessing theater that leads us into that reset that we've been warning about for so damn long. These government-run grocery stores will put us in a position where you won't be able to enter without your ID, without a face scan, like we already see in China. Again, let me just go back for a second. Something a lot of our viewers have heard me talk about before, but if you're new, you haven't, I'll go through it quickly. So in 1948, the U.S. came to aid for China, which became a big enemy of their state, quote unquote, as they were communists, but they, covertly were working with them, just like the USSR, just like Vietnam, et cetera, et cetera. Now, in the early 1970s, Henry Kissinger met with Mao Zedong alongside, a few other diplomats. But Henry Kissinger was the first, and he did it secretly against Nixon's wishes initially, in order to create an alliance with China to prop them up as a super state for technocracy, as a monopoly on trade, which we see Trump battling today, but it's all theater. The U.S. created the trade behemoth that is China. And that also led into Zbigniew Brzezinski and the Rockefellers creating the Trilateral Commission. I have a book behind me, Trilaterals Over Washington, which I urge people to check out. Patrick Wood and Anthony C. Sutton. We've had Patrick Wood on several times. Anthony C. Sutton, unfortunately, has been passed away for decades. But it's a great book talking about the reality of this, because what they did was they created the other side. They created the East in order to have a conflict with the West, in order to make it look realistic when everything comes collapsing down. And the Trilateral Commission ensured that China was a guinea pig state for technocracy. And what happened? They got Sesame credit in the early 2010s. They have facial recognition everywhere. They utilize the COVID stuff as a litmus test for technocracy. The World Economic Forum themselves in 2022, in their paper called My Carbon, acknowledged that. They said they used it as a litmus test because they wanted to see how compliant people were, and to utilize that to bring in digital IDs, technocracy, 15-minute cities, etc. This has always been the case, and we've been talking about this for a long time. And one of the biggest steps to do that is take your money and take your food and, of course, your shelter. And if you look at the mortgage markets right now, if you see the real estate markets, the hyper-localized ones, regardless, across the United States and in many other countries, it is not just bubbled, but it's collapsing. BlackRock just lost $150 million in one day, which is good. I can't stand BlackRock, but if you pull the rug out, we see a massive domino effect on people's houses. And then you will own nothing and you will be happy, says Klaus Schwab. And or as Yuval Noah Harari says, his dream is to see a humanity placated on drugs, playing video games, basically dependent, owning nothing, not having jobs. Now, as Elon Musk unveils his AI across the board, saying that AI is going to destroy humanity, but he's the number one person pushing it, saying it'll get rid of 42% of jobs in the coming years. But don't worry, you could all be on UBI, Universal Basic Income, literally what the World Economic Forum calls for, as he tries to put chips in your brain attached to a Pentagon-funded mesh network. Don't fall for either side here. Left, right, paradigm, Pepsi, Coke. That's what it is. They both want you in this technocratic hell, so you are dependent on their system. And Trump, with this second day $500 million deal for AI and mRNA cancer shots. And then, of course, that was with Larry Ellison and people like that, Sam Altman. Then he's introducing all these people to the Saudi crown princes, like Larry Fink of BlackRock, the head of Citibank, SoftBank, of course, Palantir, which is one of the biggest ones, Peter Thiel and Alex Karp, and introducing all these people to the Saudi princes to make this deal for AI drone warfare and AI governance across the board, as the big, beautiful bill gives AI the ability to control nukes. Whether you believe in nukes or not, the point is very clear that this is part of the agenda on the left and the right. The left does it, like I said, through the climate policy and through taxation and through bigotry and hate and all that kind of stuff. The right does it through biometrics on migrants and stopping crime, quote unquote, national security purposes. And yes, also stopping hate when it comes to anyone questioning Israel. Obviously, they're all blackmailed by Epstein. This is obvious. And the end point means we end up, and I say we, I don't like to use the word we, because generally, if you are one of you that watches this regularly and they've withdrawn and put their money in a safe haven, or, got storable food and stuff, maybe it doesn't really apply to you as much, though it's impossible to completely escape. But when they do all these things, that means that we end up on social credit scores with digital IDs attached to our food rations and our ability to access different foods. They'll cut us off from things. They'll give us steak if we, snitch on our neighbors. Horrible stuff like that. And puts us in a position where we're completely dependent on the state, because the end goal this isn't a war on humanity. This isn't a war on nations or races or religions, though they utilize all those things to get to that point. This is a war on humanity itself. This is a war on the individual. This is a war on independence, which is a basis of humanity in the first place. So as I finish off this video, Zohran Mamdani, oh, well, he's anti-Israel. That's great. He's speaking out against it. He's a socialist collectivist scumbag, just like those on the left and the right all together. It's all bullshit. If you fall for politics at this point, I don't know what to tell you. We're living in 2025, coming up on 2026, and it's like people still think that voting for some guy, like voting actually does anything. It's all predetermined. Voting for some guy is going to change the way that you live as far as benefit you. Of course not. They will give you a little bit here and there to make you feel a little bit better and sit on your hands longer. But the reality is, a cancer will grow. Government is a tumor. It will not stop growing. Statism, collectivism begets collectivism. It never ends. And the only person that you should be dependent on is you as an individual, because you are a free human being, but only if you act on that, only if you declare yourself free and ensure that you're free and your family is free. You have to defend yourself. It's like an armed robbery. You have a guy pointing a gun at you. You either give him the wallet, or you run away, or you attack him, or you try to hit the gun out of his hand, or you hope that the gun doesn't have any actual bullets in it. You make decisions in that moment. Most people would give them the wallet. But when you see someone 3 miles away and you see them running at you and you know that they're going to rob you, do you sit and on your hands and say, oh, I'll see what happens. I'll wait and see what happens? No, you have a much better realm of opportunity there and options to get out of that issue before the guy gets to you. Again, make your decision now. Don't wait until you're on the inside looking out, because that is almost or basically inescapable. Be the guy on the outside looking in, and eventually the Tower of Babel they're building, which it's a Tower of Babel, this technocracy, will collapse and it'll fall into its footprint, but like Building 7, but I want to be fighting alongside you in the aftermath of all of it to build a bright, beautiful new civilization. And first, we need to actually withdraw from the system before it becomes too much of a problem. All roads lead to Rome, so build your own bumpy path off the trail. It's going to be less convenient, bumpy. It's going to be gravel instead of asphalt. As I said, tyranny comes under the guise of convenience, and we need to withdraw and go the other way. And again, the left and the right and mainstream and the fake mainstream alternative media all of them, they might branch apart in the road. They fork a little bit, but they come back together at the end. And they still lead to Rome. And in this global technocracy, I mean, I've been to Oxford, UK. I spent about a month there watching them construct this 15-minute city situation. It is coming to a place near you. And with the digital IDs being rolled out right now, and the CBDC is being rolled out right now, it's not like some conspiracy theory. All right. It's something that is very clearly happening. And very clearly, one must withdraw and do what they can to protect themselves. So, again, I urge people to check those links in the description. I have made nothing off of Heaven's Harvest in months and months. However, I continue to push it out of the hope that someone out there, like I'm losing so much money talking about this, but I hope that someone out there takes it seriously enough to actually get prepared for what's to come so that they and their family are safe. Because it'll depend on you, not the state. Or if you let it depend on the state, then, well, enjoy your ration food. Who knows what they're giving you? And it'll be like Soviet times, but with facial recognition. Harder to escape even. HeavensHarvest.com for long-term storable foods that are non-GMO. There's organic kits, heirloom seeds, water filtration and storage, and books on how to get started. Use code WAM, W-A-M, and you'll get 5% off as well as free shipping on these items. Again, just an absolute no-brainer. If you haven't already, please go do this today. Get prepared. Save your life. Also, make sure to withdraw as much as you can from that banking system. Do not be dependent on the banks. I urge people to go and check out firstnationalbullion.com/schedule-consult/. It has to be that exact link. It's in the description, so you don't have to just listen to me. It's right in the description. No shortened version of it. It has to be the whole link. There you can avoid the CBDCs and the digital IDs and buy physical gold, silver, platinum, or palladium. Hold it in your hands, put it in a vault, put it in an IRA outside of the traditional IRA system. Don't watch your savings, don't watch your money drift away in major stocks that are bound to collapse, or watch it fall to pieces through inflation. Get prepared today. Schedule an appointment for a free consultation with Mark Gonzalez and get a complimentary investors package with that as well. Let him know in the comments of the forum that you found him at World Alternative Media, or WAM, W-A-M. Highly recommend people go and check that out, and our videos with Mark Gonzalez, who we have many videos with, by the way, over on Rumble and BitChute at World Alternative Media. As we close this off, we have Wave Watch 2.0. Save $100 on that if you use code WAM, W-A-M. There you can get 1,100 plus frequencies on your wrist, endorsed by people like Dr. Brian Artis. No Wi-Fi is required. No app is required. This 1,100 plus frequency watch allows you to improve your sleep, balance your emotions, enhance mental clarity, and boost your energy. So go and check that out in the links below. We are under attack by bad frequencies. Of course, we have vni.life/WAM, W-A-M, for super supplements, which you could find there using code WAM15, W-A-M-15. You'll get 15% off, including on things like Protavite, which is absolutely amazing stuff here. 100 plus vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients. The before and after speaks for itself. The loss of negative charge before, the red blood cell count, it's not flowing. White blood cells are small. Look at 5 minutes after taking it. Restored negative charge, red blood cells freely flowing, white blood cells 4 times their size. I highly recommend people go and check this out because it's absolutely incredible, and I've never seen anything like it. So that's vni.life/WAM, W-A-M, and that's code WAM15. As I close this off, we could use any help we can get. We have gogetfunding.com, Patreon, and Subscribestar. You guys help keep us up and running, and I cannot thank you enough. Again, without you, we would, I don't know where we'd be, honestly. We'd be screwed. On Patreon and Subscribestar, for $4.99 a month or more in pledges, you'll get exclusive content, including subscriber-only content, early access, etc., as well as videos directly to you, private videos in response to questions you might have on different topics. You could also find us on our PayPal address below, ancientwonderstelevision@gmail.com. We have a Bitcoin address here that you could scan on the screen if you please, or check out in the description of the video in text form. We have a Cointree link with a bunch of different cryptocurrencies that you can donate in if you please, including privacy coins. And of course, we have a Teespring link with a bunch of merchandise. That helps support us as well. Just getting that merchandise out there really helps us. Find us on Telegram, Rockfin, well, actually, we're not on Rockfin anymore. They don't let us post videos. So Telegram, Band.video. Band.video is going to be gone soon because of the lawsuit that Alex Jones is dealing with. Obviously, we're on BitChute, Odyssey, Rumble, and Brighteon at World Alternative Media. Those are the most important. We're on Hive, Steemit, and Vigilante.tv at Josh Sigurdson. And we're on the Bad Guys TikTok and Instagram, World Alternative Media, Twitter and Getter at World Alt Media, and all the major podcast platforms except for Spotify, where, of course, we're banned. Hit that like button, share on social media, hit the notification bell, and hit subscribe if you have not yet already. And as always, my friends, live freely, live by example. This is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.